Hey guys and gals, this is Kathy Newton. I'm in my office today. I'm a licensed clinical social worker who is making videos now after working for over 30 years in the field, about 29 years postgraduate, and then several years before I got my master's degree, I was working with traumatized individuals. So I'm in my office right now, my private practice office in the Lake of the Ozarks. And so I hope that we don't hear a lot of noise from outside my office, as things can get a little lively out there sometimes. So hopefully we won't get too disturbed. So today I am going to be talking more about childhood trauma, complex PTSD, and the concept of negative cognitions. Now, this concept comes from, the first time I saw it anyway, was in Francine Shapiro's book called Getting Past Your Past. Phenomenal book, guys. If you do want to do some of your own trauma work, or you want to at least get prepared to do EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, wonderful way to heal trauma versus managing it. You're going to want to get a copy of that book called Getting Past Your Past by Francine Shapiro. Your therapist, whoever's doing EMDR with you, will love it if you read the first 5 chapters in preparation for reprocessing some of your traumatic memories. So this is the way that you can tell that you have unresolved, unprocessed trauma memories. When you read down the list of negative cognitions or negative beliefs, and one or more of them jump off the page at you and kind of hit you like, oh, that's me, that tells you that that's a sore spot for you. I call it a sore spot for my patients. It's just a nice way of thinking about it, is identifying what are your sore spots and then kind of opening that door and looking at what's behind those sore spots, because more often than not, there is an actual memory or several memories that are connected to that negative cognition. I also think of them like little slivers that prevent people's healing process, because again, I want to go back to, I believe we were created to heal ourselves. Our bodies know how to heal themselves, and our mind knows how to heal itself. But when things get stuck in that aren't supposed to be there, like little slivers, they prevent that natural healing process, and we need to pull those slivers out. I think of it like a cog in a wheel, and somebody's put something in there to jam it. And once that thing is jammed in there, unless you get it out, that wheel is not going to continue to go. So I like to think of metaphors and examples because it just works better with my mind. I hope it's helpful to you. So basically, these negative cognitions are things on the brush pile. Okay, these are beliefs and memories underneath the beliefs that are on the brush pile that get in the way of your capacity to form healthy relationships, because you're always having emotional flashbacks that cause you to over or underreact. Obviously, overreacting to a trauma trigger is going to cause more problems in your relationships at work and at home, and in the community. But if you're underreacting, that's not good either, because then you're probably getting re-traumatized and re-victimized a lot in your life and in your relationships. So I'm going to share some of these negative beliefs with you, and I'm going to read them slowly. And I want you to, if you can, take a piece of paper and just jot down any that really jump off the page at you. There's 3 different categories of beliefs. The first one is the negative beliefs that go together with responsibility. So I'm going to start there. Basically, I am defective. I am a bad person. I don't deserve love. I am terrible. I am worthless. I am shameful. I am not lovable. I'm not good enough. I deserve only bad things. I am permanently damaged. I am ugly. my body is hateful. I do not deserve ... I am stupid. I am insignificant. I am a disappointment. I deserve to die. I deserve to be miserable. And I am different and don't belong. The next area of responsibility is I did something wrong. I should have done something. I should have known better. Under safety and vulnerability, we find I cannot be trusted. I cannot trust myself. I cannot trust my judgment. I cannot trust anyone. I cannot protect myself, the big one. I am in danger. It's not okay to feel or show my emotions. I cannot stand up for myself, and I cannot let it out. Under choice or choices, we find I am not in control. I am powerless or helpless. I am weak. I cannot get what I want. I am a failure. I cannot succeed. I have to be perfect and please everyone. And I am inadequate, and I cannot trust anyone. I think those last two are repetitions. If you found that you have any of these negative beliefs or cognitions that really jumped off the page at you, you want to really take the time to make note of them. If you have a copy of the Upset That Comes with Little, the booklet that I wrote, which is a phase 1 tool for people who are just starting to work on their trauma, you're going to want to put it in. There's a section in the back where you can list your triggers. You want to list your triggers, but you also want to list those negative beliefs. And you can put those right in that section right there. And again, if you want a copy of the book, just let me know. You can reach out to me through this channel, and I can make sure I get you a copy of it. So that's it for that. I just want to again say that these are negative beliefs that survivors of trauma walk around with that constantly plague them. Sometimes they come in as intrusive thoughts, or they're triggered in relationships. But if you recognize them, that's a sure sign that there is a traumatic memory, at least one, that has not been reprocessed. And the good news about that is that when you get those trauma memories reprocessed, you will no longer have those beliefs, and they will no longer get in the way of you being able to have healthy relationships or react properly, which leads to healthy relationships. I'm going to give you a quick example of when I went for my EMDR training. This was so exciting to me because we had to practice on each other. So I had never had an EMDR session before. And I picked a memory of when I was a child, and my sister and I took my little brother outside, and he was in a stroller, and we were probably about 7 and 10 years old at the time. And my father sent us outside to babysit our brother, and unfortunately he rolled down 3 cement stairs, and it wasn't a whole flight of stairs, just 3 cement stairs, and his stroller flipped over. And so he kind of went down face first, and my brother was perfectly fine, but my sister and I got into a lot of trouble, and we were spanked and we were shamed, and all the things that go along with somebody who is pretty ragey and violent. So I picked that as a memory to reprocess, and it was pretty amazing because literally within about a 10 or 15 minute EMDR session, I came out of there being able to stand. Number one, it desensitized the memory so that I was able to go to the next family event, and I did not feel those internal feelings of anxiety and trembling that I felt when I was around my father, even though he was probably 70 years old then at the time. And what I used to do in the past is I used to manage everybody. Patrick Teehan talks about that on his channel, about how we trauma survivors manage everybody in the room. So it was my job to manage my father and to make sure he didn't act out. But this time, I went to the family gathering and he started to act out, and he actually did act out, and I just called him on it. And I just said, knock it off. And he just looked at me, because no one had ever spoken back to him. No one had ever, tried to hold him accountable for his behavior and just say, stop it. And I was able to stay big, and I was able to recognize that my body was not dysregulated at all. And I was also able to stand up to a doctor that I worked with in my private practice. He wasn't working in my practice, but he was somebody that I collaborated with in the community. And he left me a really nasty message when I was on this training for EMDR. And it was just a nasty message that was uncalled for about a patient and what I thought versus what he thought. And I just literally, as soon as I heard that message, now normally I would have gone into that all bad place, like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Did I do something wrong? And then I would have started to obsess. After I got angry, I'd start to obsess first, and then I would get enraged at the way he treated me. And then, I may have overreacted, but probably not. I would have just sat with it. And then it would have eventually dissipated, but nothing would have been solved. So this time I got the message, I heard the message, and I was able to just pick up the phone and say very kindly, and it was just natural, it was spontaneous, it wasn't even thought about. And I just said, hey, this is Kathy, I just wanted to let you know I got your message, and I just wanted to let you know that it's not okay to talk to me that way. And he again stopped. It stopped him in his tracks. And why not? And I said, well, because we're colleagues. And, if you have a problem with something I do or say or what I think, just pick up the phone and call me, and we can have a discussion about it respectfully like colleagues. And he said, okay. And I got off the phone, and I didn't do a number on myself, and I didn't obsess about what I said. And you guys all know what I'm talking about. And so that one reprocessing of that one memory was just so incredibly helpful in getting me unhooked and unstuck from all that trauma stuff that was holding me back and making it difficult for me to find my voice. So these negative cognitions are so important to identify. And once you do, then you can start to reprocess those memories. And then you can get unhooked and start living your life, which is what we all want to do. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon from the YouTube channel Therapy Rocks, spelled ROX. Have a great day. God bless.